Big welcome from Hex Token, your host Superman in the house. Another great live show in store because we are in the glorious Richard Heart ecosystem, and of course we're going to be talking about all things Richard Heart. Now the title of the video is Best Passive Income in 2023, and of course we're going to demonstrate that today. It's pretty amazing, the best passive income in 2023. And of course, we're going to talk about that later on. Now, we'll leave a timestamp, obviously, after the video, if you're watching it, so you can jump straight to the section that you want to see, in particular, the passive income in 2023. We're going to look at that at the end of the live stream, actually. So there will be a timestamp. You can jump straight to it. You don't have to watch the rest of the show, which is going to be awesome, by the way. We're going to talk about stock market, of course, crypto market, crypto news. We've got a lot on the crypto news today. Then we're going to jump into the old Hex price. It is pushing higher and higher and higher. I do have a poll up running at the moment, and that is... will Hex be 8 cents by Sunday? Now remember, it wasn't my other poll 2 days ago or something. Will Hex be 7 cents by Sunday? Now we've got will Hex be 8 cents by Sunday? Yes, maybe, no, and don't know, unsure. So I think it was 2 days ago. It gets a bit foggy when you do so many live streams, but hey, this is the way it goes. So that's kind of cool. What else? Let's see. We're going to get into Hedron as well. We're going to get into Pulsechain with Richard Hart and the devs. Then we're going to jump over to one of the projects on Pulsechain. We've got one project update, I think. It's kind of an update. It's more around the project in Pulsechain. And of course, then we're going to get into Hex daily stats and then get into obviously the best passive income in 2023. And so we're going to talk all about that. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Let's get into the chat there and say hello. We've got a few people in the house. We've got Just Hex a lot says Superman is everyone's favorite superhero. I appreciate that, and so does Superman. That's pretty cool. Check My Pulse says good evening, Xkins. Good to see you. Check My Pulse. Let's go over here. Dave Down Under says double dose of Hex Token. Just finished watching the emergency live show from yesterday. That was our second show I did yesterday because Hex went over 7 cents. And now I'm here for the live show. Yeah, maybe it's 8 cents. Who knows? Who knows what could happen? Yeah, may hit 8 cents live on the Hex Token channel. Who knows? We might get the Hex Token channel pump. It's been going very well on this channel with the Hex Token channel pumps. And of course, 2023 is the year of Pulsechain. That's part of the best of passive income in 2023 is the old Pulsechain. So if you guys are new to Richard Hart tokens and coins, then obviously we've got Hex, Pulsechain, and PulseX, and really that forms a big part of the best passive income in 2023. But there's much more expected in the Pulsechain ecosystem with a lot of really cool top tier utility dApps. It's going to be fun. Morning, Superman and family. I went with a conservative maybe, says Brennan. Boy, that's pretty conservative from you, Brennan. He's one of our chartists as well. 007 Hex is the new Bond, says Wookie. Well, I think James Bond in our Discord, he's one of the moderators as well, just like Wookie. He might contest that a little bit. Humberto's in the house there. Hex may be at 8 cents during your show tonight. It's called the Superman Pump. Cheers from sunny Miami. Nice one there, Humberto. That is very cool. What else? We got Spike in the house. What's up, all? Good to see you, Spike. And a big welcome to everybody. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button, hit the like button on the way in, and hit the bell for future videos. Pulsechain trainers in the house there. Hello from Texas. Let's go. Yeehaw! Big welcome to you, Pulsechain trainer. We got Property View in the house as well. Great show. Hey, Property View, appreciate it. You're probably one of my favorite channels now, Property View. I really do enjoy your content on your channel covering mega mansions. So big shout out to Property View. Very cool there. Tom Boss in the house as well. Morning, beautiful day to wake up and see Hex keep going up. That's true, Tom Boss. It's pretty glorious, and I think it's only just getting warmed up. We're going to talk about, obviously, Pulsechain and Hex during this live stream, and of course the best passive income in 2023. It's going to be unbelievable. Remember, crypto is the best performing asset class, and man, we are in the top tier of that. We're in the gold standard of crypto, so look forward to the future. It's going to be pretty bright, I think. Pretty bright indeed. All right, Crypto Tycoon house there, almost home from work. Woo! Superman, let's go, says Crypto Tycoon. Check My Pulse says, my first stake ends today. No way. How funny is that? After all this time, going to restake at the end of 2024 ladder. Nice one, Check My Pulse. And the QQ's in the house there. Woo! Hey, good to see you, Check My Pulse. All right, you even got the horn out, just the way it goes. And Michael says, 2023 year of Pulsechain. Yes, get excited, Michael. Get excited indeed. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, let's get into it, folks. We're going to jump into the stock market. Let's do it. And let us jump there. Let's go. All right. And the crowd goes wild. All right, here we are on Hex.com. We're going to talk about that later on with the best passive income 2023. It's just part of it now, but it's a big part, the best savings investment product in crypto, and it's going to just improve and get better and better over time. We're going to jump to that towards the end of the live stream. Catch us up for that. Let's get into the stock market today. Dow ends flat as rates jump on signs disinflation losing steam. In other words, prices going down. So the Dow ended flat after all. Now the futures was up positive yesterday, but looks like it ended up flat after all that. So sometimes the futures can look like they're going to be a good day, and then it pulls back, it flattens out during the night based on news, right, or something like that. So let's get into it. We've got the Dow Jones Industrials is pretty much flat, up 5 points at 32,661. Remember, that's got the top 30 industrials in it. The S&P 500 is down 0.5%, almost 19 points there at 3,951 on the index. And finally, all our tech companies are in the NASDAQ here. That's down just under 0.7%, and at 76 points, down to 11,379. So that's where we are there. The dollar is also down 0.5%. So we've got very much a flat day, really. Dollar's down a little bit there, 104.34 versus the trading partners. Let's check out the commodities. Commodities at the moment, West Brent oil is pretty much flat, just slightly up there, 7 cents, $84.46. And West Texas there is up a 9/10%, up 67 cents to $77.72. We look over the last month, which is a good guide to get. Last month gives you a bit of a context. We're pretty just down slightly from the beginning of the month. We started the month off at 79. We're at 77.8, so maybe down $1 or so on that one. The gold at the moment is pretty flat as well, down up 40 cents. $1,844 per ounce of gold there, and silver there is pretty flat as well. That is at $21.08, so not much movement there either. We know that obviously Rich Dad Poor Dad loves that stuff. Kiyosaki, he loves the old silver there, making it the big play in the future. Now the Dow Jones closed flat Wednesday as Treasury yields continue to advance on signs of disinflation in goods. In other words, inflation, instead of it going down, has slowed down doing that and been going up a little bit there. Has run out of steam, suggesting that the Fed's rate hike path may be steeper than expected. And of course, we have priced in 3 times 25 basis points in March, May, and June. So that would get us the terminal rate. The terminal rate's going to be slightly higher instead of maybe 5.1 as in the Fed's SEP forecast from December. We're expecting a new SEP forecast in March. And yeah, well, that's probably what we might end up with. So instead of being 5.1, we'll probably end up with 5.4, and that would be terminal rate. So it's definitely higher. Retail rates in the US, last time I checked, was 6.5% on average, and so that's likely with another 75 basis points probably to trickle over 7%. And so that's going to knock over more marginal house loans, people that are struggling to afford it. Even at 6.5, would pretty much fall over, and at over 7%, they wouldn't be able to afford it. Basically, might have to sell the house, all that sort of stuff. So there we are. That's sort of when the pain starts happening, and it, we talk about soft landing, maybe hard landing. At the moment, we're probably heading for at least a soft or medium landing at the moment with the economy. But individually, people sometimes can go through terrible things, right? Even in a soft landing, if they have to sell a house, it's stressful and all that sort of stuff. So there is real consequences to all this stuff, folks. The February ISM manufacturing PMI rose to 47.7 from 47.4, but a deep dive into the data showed fresh signs of price pressures. The prices paid index for the ISM manufacturing report rose out of contraction to 51.3. Remember, anything over 50 is contraction. Is expansion. Under 50 is contraction there. Jeffrey said, pointing to signs that the disinflationary trend in goods prices that was in place at the end of last year has run out of steam. So remember, we had that beautiful trend for about 4 months or so of the inflation rate coming down from 9.1 and all that sort of stuff, and the manufacturing coming down, prices as well. Obviously, we've got retail prices, manufacturing prices down more the wholesale level there. Fresh signs of sticky inflation pushed Treasury yields sharply higher on bets that higher for longer interest rates are needed to cull inflation. The 10-year Treasury yield topped 4% for the first time since November, keeping tech stocks in the firing line and extending the slump seen in February. Now, remember, these interest rates have a particularly bigger impact on the stock markets because they have to do financial earnings season, and of course they've got their revenue and their costs and their profits to report, and growth and or not, lack of growth. And of course, they've also got they also their valuations get impacted by the interest rate inverse relationship there. So they've got with that to worry about. Crypto, not so much, but we do get impacted generally with the real economy. The results of the interest rates affects income and wealth effects, and of course that's what drives asset values. In addition to obviously US money printing. So that's kind of where we are there on the stock market. Let's jump over to crypto though. And talk about that. Let's talk about crypto. Let's talk about crypto. All right, so crypto here looking pretty good. So crypto's doing its own thing. Nice to see. BTC 23,619 up almost 2%. Dominance of BTC at 41.34%. ETH is up 3% there at $1,656. And BNB is pretty flat there at $301 at the moment. So let's have a quick look around here. We pretty much is everything. All the majors are pretty much up about 1.5% or so. We've got Solana as they're up 2%. We've got, let's have a look here. What do we got here? AVAX there. Let me have a look at AVAX. Can't quite get it there. AVAX is up 3.4%, so it's doing pretty well. But when we look at some of the others, let's look at Matic. Matic is up 3.7. That's $1.24. And SHIB is up 1.78% there. What else is looking interesting there? I think that's probably it. Let's go to Uni. Uni is up 4.8%. So yeah, okay, they're up a little bit more than 1.5%, but the majors up there around 2%. So it's pretty good all around actually. What else there? XRP is up 1.5%, and Litecoin up 3.7% to $97. So not too bad. And Dogecoin up 1.4% to 81 cents. Those are some of the majors there. Now the stable coins, USDC pushed back, gone down. We were almost back at peg yesterday, if you remember. This has been below peg for a long time. We almost got back to peg. I think we got to 97.7 yesterday. Here we are down 0.8% there, down 98.7. Still under pressure from the SEC. We're going to look at some of that in our crypto news. USD Tether, the biggest one of them all, is at $1.001, so it's above peg. That's kind of cool. BUSD is obviously down too, 98.3, 98.3, $1, 1.3% below BUSD. Those are the two that are under the thumb at the moment, the BUSD and the USDC. So that's pretty much that. Even Frax, look at Frax here. Frax is at 99.6 as well. So USD Tether and USDL, LUSD and USD Tether, they're the ones performing particularly well at the moment on the old stable coins. Even USDD is down, isn't it? USDD, look at that. That's 99.1 as well. So that's down also. So yep, we're going to have the best protocols coming to our chain because the models that we've got are going to be the better ones. So it's kind of neat. All right, let's jump away from that. Let's get into the rankings. And of course, we got global market cap at the moment is 1.12 trillion, up 1.9%. Remember, at the top of the bull market that we had, we were up over 3 trillion. Give you context there. What else? Let's have a look here. Actually, we're going to flip through this. Hex is number 3 on the top gainers in the top 100, up by 15%. So very nice on that. Just behind Maker and Conflux token, whatever that is. I don't know that one. We got Bitcoin there is number 1. Ethereum up 3%. Number 2 there. We got Binance Coin up 1/3% there. XRP up 2%. Cardano up 2.2. Dogecoin up 1.2. Polygon up 3.93%. And look at that. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, everybody. We just had Christmas, but we've got Christmas again. Hex here up at 10.85 billion and 20.69 million turnover. That's what I'm really watching is this volume lift up here. Remember, we were down at 10 million, and now here we are at 20.69 million. Very nice. Let's get that going up. We want the big money to start flowing in. I don't even think, honestly, we've seen some money come in, but I still think we haven't seen anything compared to what will come in to capture that Pulsechain layer 1 chain. The people got to want their positions early. At the moment, there is no Pulse coin out there, no PLS out there. There is only Hex. Hex is the proxy. And of course, not only is Hex doing it well specifically with its own features and its own supply numbers, but it's also pricing in the Pulsechain And of course, here we are, 20.69. Once again, best passive income 2023. And these are some of the things that you need to think about. The 10.85 billion on the market cap, looking very nice indeed, up 15%. Currently sitting at 7.68 cents for the Hex there, and that's sitting at number 11, up one spot. Ready, folks, ready to get into the top 10, which is probably going to be at about the 8 cent mark. So Hex gets to 8 cents, probably going to be about that mark. We're looking pretty good there. Now we got, what else there? Solana there at number 14 as well. Now, the other thing I was going to say is BUSD obviously going down as well. Solana there is number 14 at up 2.7, Polkadot up 2.5, Litecoin up 4% there, Shiba Inu up 1.7, Tron up 1.1, and Avalanche there at number 19 up 3.8. That is our top 20 at the moment. So kind of cool there. Let's jump away to the crypto news though. Bam, let's do that. And of course, we have got some serious news today. So not to dampen things down, but what the heck is that picture there? What is this doing? Let me just refresh this. There's some silly picture sitting in the front of the comments there. All right, so the US SEC plans to keep growing crypto unit as enforcement wraps up. So obviously, just like interest rates going up, we're moving from cheap money to more expensive money. We have to take notice of that. That's why we cover it on this channel. If you didn't cover it on other channels, then you're going to miss out all that, and you're going to wonder what the heck's going on with the market. I don't know what's going on. Why is the crypto doing this? It's good to be informed, right? The other thing, of course, is the SEC is very important. It's going on a bit of a rampage, enforcement rampage. It's taken, I think, the completely wrong approach, but and I do think there's a bit of a setup in this game as well. So with the FTX in particular, Sam Bankman-Fried, I think there's a little bit of a setup in there. The US SEC plans to keep growing crypto unit as enforcement ramps up. The securities regulator has almost filled the 20 slots previously added to its crypto squad and is looking to increase that number even further, a spokesperson said. So obviously Gary Gensler there putting together his little army to go after crypto. You got to remember, crypto's a pretty small market globally, 1.1 trillion as we just saw. It's not a big market globally at all. It's just a little tiny fraction still. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission may ramp up its recent surge of cases targeting crypto firms by once again boosting the size of its digital assets enforcement squad. The regulator, which has been hammering away at the crypto sector under the direction of Chair Gary Gensler, sent a loud message to the industry. Now, what's he been attacking? Been attacking, saying that everything other than Bitcoin is a security, and so he's been taking to task a lot of the centralized stuff with custodials. So if you got custodial, so we're in DeFi, right? So this is all CeFi stuff, centralized finance and centralized exchanges that are particularly under the hammer. He's been chasing down stablecoins, so opening with BSC, USDC, things like that. Now, and also he's been going after just any funny issuances there as well. So disclosures and stuff like that. So he's been going after all that sort of carry on. The regulator, which has been hammering away at the crypto sector under the direction of Chair Gary Gensler, sent a loud message to the industry in May 2022 by announcing it was adding 20 people to its newly named Crypto Assets and Cyber Unit. Cyber Unit sounds something out of some movie, doesn't it? That nearly doubled the size of the 50-person operation. And an SEC spokesperson told CoinDesk that the added slots are nearly filled. Now the agency is planning to add additional staff. So again, another round of hiring to that unit, the spokesperson said Wednesday. Further underlying the priority that digital assets enforcement has become for the SEC, the spokesperson doesn't disclose how many new positions would be added. The regulator has maintained a steady stream of crypto asset cases over the past couple of years, but recent weeks saw a spate of enforcement actions and accusations that could form the basis of a kind of shadow rule for digital assets in the absence of formal cryptocurrency policy that the industry has been asking for many of the cases. So normally a good approach is to work with the industry and make new rules and to deal with some issues like this in most cases. And of course, they're not really doing that, are they? Many of the cases are building on SEC claims that most digital tokens are unregistered securities, such as FTX, Exchange Token FTT, and the yield products at a number of firms. It also recently accused Kraken, and obviously Kraken just recently listed Hex, of course, of inappropriately offering securities in the form of its staking service. So not only has it been, saying everything else in Bitcoin is a security and talking about not proper disclosures and launching stuff like that, also stable coins, but also staking as a service is another area they've particularly been hard on. The regulator accused Terraform Labs and co-founder Duquan last month of deliberately misleading investors about the strength of the doomed Terra USD stablecoin, and again, selling unregistered securities. But many crypto lawyers suggest SEC Fair is the agency will finally make an aggressive case against the major trading platforms that they're running illegal, unregistered exchanges and need to stop. So many crypto lawyers, biggest SEC fear is the agency will finally make an aggressive case against the major trading platforms that they're running illegal, unregistered exchanges and need to stop. That would be a big deal for the CFI. That would be great for us in a sense. So it's bad. It's bad from an onboarding point of view. Obviously, there's so much people onboarding into crypto through the centralized exchanges and CFI. But it's also positive for DeFi and products like Pulsechain and Hex and stuff because it takes over, naturally takes over the space left by those exchanges, etc. So there's pros and cons to that. Common compliance, Gensler said during a discussion last month, reporters about the crypto industry provide the time-tested disclosures and protections to investors. Is not really a choice. That's the law. And they should be doing that, right? So we agree. If you're going to have offering certain types of products, you should have appropriate disclosures and protections for investors. And then, of course, we have seen some pretty bad play there with FTX and, using a whole balance sheet for different products. So we have seen those issues. And they definitely need to be taken to task. So that's not really the issue. It's just some of the rest of the attacks that he's doing and the style he's taken is not great. He also has got controversial position and related to FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried, and of course, it'll be interesting to see where that heads in the future as well. All right, let's jump over to the next piece of news. Australian Central Bank to launch live a pilot for CBDC in coming months. So a centralized currency. We're seeing of this more and more around the world. The use cases for the CBDC range from offline payments to trustless Web3 commerce, and the financial industry participants are invited to undertake a live pilot there. So it'll be interesting to see if people like Liquid Loans get involved in anything like this. Australia's central bank is set to launch a live pilot of a central bank digital currency in the coming months. So that was a joint statement there. The RBE, the Reserve Bank of Australia, said on March the 2nd local time it was collaborating with the DFCRC on a research project to explore potential use cases and economic benefits of a central bank digital currency in Australia. The Reserve Bank of Australia announced the initial stage of the research project involving the selection of several financial industry participants to demonstrate potential use cases of the CBD and will provide possible benefits. This will involve a live pilot, that says, and of course here are all the different use cases that have got offline payments, etc. And they go all the way through their tokenized FTX settlements, corporate bond settlement, GST automation, etc. It goes on and on. Funds, etc. So heaps of stuff there, tokenized bills. Brad Jones, governor there of the RBA, said the pilot and broader research study will be conducted in parallel with several two ends. It will contribute to hands-on learning by the industry, and it will add policymakers. Now, obviously, the big fear of these things is programmable currencies. In other words, they get rid of all the paper currencies, which should actually be a human right, right? If you think about, even though we have a digital future, and I think we can all accept that, paper money should be a human right, because as soon as you get rid of paper money, then you're locked into the system 100%. And the other, I mean, you've always bartering, but that's another thing. They may outlaw bartering too, right? Is that you are forced into the digital system. But the worst part is if these centralized currencies are all programmable. In other words, they can turn it off. We saw that in Canada. We saw the Trudeau government, which has been running authoritarianism, and of course they when there was freedom protests out there, they just turned off not just the freedom protests, but they went after the people that donated to the freedom protests, and they hammered them on their accounts as well. So you can see these guys will do it in an instant. They'll just go after you, and of course with a digital currency, they'll just turn on and off. We like what your views are. We'll turn it on for you. You can use the system. You can buy your goods and services. You can live. If we don't like your views, we can turn it all off in an instant. We saw how easy it was with Justin Trudeau of Canada, and of course, hopefully he'll be pushed out by Canadians. But of course, they have a lot of issues there with the mainstream media keeping a lot of these fascists in power. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. This is the big risk, and Australia there is investigating that. Now, the other one, of course, is also not just Australia, but the US as well. And of course, remember, these got similar ideological governments in place. So the Labor government in Australia, and of course, the Democrats in US. And of course, they have big influences in the State Departments as well. Treasury Department developing tech for digital dollar as Congress debates the crypto rules. And of course, this is part of the executive branch. Biden administration is working to develop technology to create the central bank digital currency as the policy debate as to how to do so continues. Now, these guys only have bad ends to them. Like, if you know these guys, you know that they're going to do bad things with these things. So it's not a great thing. It's not a great thing at all. The technology is cool, and we're already in the technology, but these guys will only use it for bad things. Treasury Under Secretary for Domestic Finance gave the update as part of a speech about how the administration is advancing plans for a potential CBDC. Now, you got to remember, these guys also were going to hire, I can't remember the exact number, but a huge number of IRS agents to go after people, and typically they go after the states and areas that in the opposition. So if they're Republican states, they were going after those people, and that data is very clear and very transparent. That they go after those people, and of course hammer them, particularly if they're an advocate for the opposite side of the aisle. The CBDC would be used to issue a digital version of currency, meaning in the US that the Federal Reserve would issue a digital dollar that could be used the same way as regular dollars are used. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said that the central bank won't take action to create a digital dollar unless directed by Congress. And I think Rags Richards may have covered this a little while ago. Lawmakers are fiercely divided over the issue, making the action on CBDC unlikely this year. And of course, this is where the pushback has to go in Congress, particularly with the Republicans there. You need to obviously push back on this. So if you're in the US and this is important to you, this is about freedom, ultimately. This all leads back to freedom. And of course, your currency, your medium of exchange. Imagine it if you are forced to go. You go to the counter, you said something online they don't like. In the UK, they had people, something like 3,500 people last year got arrested for something they said online, which is normal stuff. This is normal stuff. You look at it, it's all normal stuff. There'll be a couple of crazy stuff on there, but most of it was just normal stuff, you might say, because it wasn't the view of the state. They were arrested by the police. 3,500 people. It was just absolutely moronic. Meanwhile, they have 75,000 knife stabbings a year, probably double that amount because it's always counted, and they don't catch hardly any of those people don't care. They care about what you're saying online though, because you're easy, right? You're a good citizen, and they come after you. So that's what these guys do. Really is a big issue. So Liang Wednesday indicated the department is taking steps to be prepared for such a system if lawmakers and policymakers a decision to proceed. So at the moment, we've got a bit of a window of opportunity there as well, because the Democrats they're gonna take control. That's what they want to do. Even as policy deliberations continue, we are engaged in the technology developments of the CBDC so that we will be able to move forward rapidly. So they're going to keep working on it, have it all ready to go, off the shelf almost. That's what they're going to be doing there. We'll determine in the national interest. Here, the national interest, not the people's interest, national interest. That's a careful phrasing here. Liang here, coming months leading from the Treasury and the Fed, along with the White House officials such as the Council of Economic Advisors, National Economic Council. You got to remember there's a lot of socialists in these groups here under the Biden administration. And if you know what socialists do, they go for authoritarian power and they pretty much wipe out the other views. That's what happens there. This is not the old liberal Democrat party. These are full of socialists now. And of course, they go for authoritarian powers as part of the system, as you have in communism as well. The group is weighing the implications of the USD CBDC, including considering how it could be related to global financial leadership. And this is the connection, right? So you got a Labour government in Australia, you got this happening in the US, you got Canadian similar ideologies, you got Europe as many countries with similar ideologies. They all work together and they lock you into the system and then hand the power over to the UN and WHO and all sorts of stuff like that. And they take away your sovereignty, and you're pretty much stuffed. You're pretty much stuffed after all that's all done there. And of course, a lot of people go, "Oh, I don't care." You'll quickly find out that you'll care when you come up running up to something, and you get in trouble for it. The group is weighing the implications of EUSDC, including the considerations how to be global. Another key of the set of objectives of the group is considering is over national security. Or national imprisonment, however they want to put it, and how the US can create such a system with cybersecurity protections in place that protect user data. So that's all good, that part there. We have no problem with that. Recommendations the group will lay out may relate to whether the USDC CBDC would help advance policy objectives such as global financial leadership, in other words, global control of the citizens and national security there, as well as about the features of the US would actually have. And of course, that's the full programmability, being able to turn you on and off is it's a fundamental risk to this. and you know, you need to talk to your local representative, because you know, freedom is fundamental. Freedom is fundamental, and they can take it away in a heartbeat. And they typically take it away in a slow way through different laws. Before you know it, 25% of your freedom laws are gone within a short space of time. And by the time they're finished, every time they get back into power, they take more of them away, to the point where they just fool you that you've still got freedom, and then you find yourself in big trouble. I've seen mothers with babies arrested in all these different countries and other places like that, just expressing opinions online, and this is where they target. They arrest them, they separate them from their children. It's just disgusting. This is where these people are going. So if you want to get into the heads of these guys, it really is a big key. So obviously decentralized currencies are a big part of that tool set that they use to do that sort of stuff. So we need to push back in peaceful ways, and we need to do it now, because otherwise it's going to be too late. All right, so that is the CBDCs, and of course we're going to get into Hex in a second. Before we do that, let's catch up on the chat and see how everyone's going. Who else is there? I don't know why the background took so long to come in, but hey, just the way it did. We've got 64 people watching at the moment. Big welcome to all of you. Maybe subscribe, like, share, and hit the channel there. Now, normally we're just a crypto channel, but when we're talking about CBDCs, it's hard not to talk about the political side, because freedom is under attack in the West, and they just laugh at you. They think you're all idiots. So just the way it goes. But we're not idiots. We're not idiots. We want our freedom. Freedom! We want the freedom. All right, so what else we got? Who else has jumped in here? Let's have a go back up here in the chat. Let's get back up here. We got up to there, definitely got up there. Tom Boss in the house there. Morning, beautiful day to wake up and see the Hex price going up. We definitely got up to that one. We've got Crypto Coconut almost home. I definitely got up to that as well. Whereabouts did I get up to here? I think it was Michael R, right? Simple Believer, when Pulsechain comes out, Superman is going to work overtime. It seems like that, a double time. Hey, look, I think we're going to have to go to the Hex price in a second, because it's just rocketing. Let's get through some of these, though. Actually, we might just change the format. Let's go to the Hex chart here. Bam, look at that thing. Woo-hoo! Hot dog and a dog. We're on the 15-minute chart here on Hex. Look at it, 7.731, folks. Glorious. Glorious, it's so glorious. All right. Woohoo! Absolutely get excited about that. Now, Katie in the house there, one of our moderators. Hi, all. Superman's late night stream last night was epic. Let's go. It was a lot of fun, Katie. I agree with you on that. I've got my coffee. Let me, I need a bit of a drink. Hardy Hex Loin says, let's start the weekend with a V3 testnet. I'm getting into 8 cents on Friday and have a lock for 10. I like what you had. Hardy Hex Loin, that's definitely possible. That's definitely possible there. Yo, Hex killing it, says Detached Soul. Absolutely is. Who else there? We're going to jump through a couple of these. We've got Sandy Beach in the house there. Hello, Hex Token, everybody. Good to see you, Sandy Beach. And we've got Pudding Guru in the house there. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. What sitcom was that? Welcome back. Welcome back. I can't quite get the tone of it, but yeah, definitely. And let me know in the chat there what that theme, that sound sitcom soundtrack was, or theme song. Welcome back. Welcome back. I can't even quite get it. It's not quite there. Yesterday we talked about the Love Boat. Today we're talking about some other older back OG sitcom. Tin Top's in the house there. What's up, Mexicans? Good to see you, Tin Top, man. Hex is pumping here, 7.723. It looks looking glorious, glorious. Hi to you all from the Pulse player. Good to see you in the chat there as well. Hardy Hex Lauren says, and the best thing, look at BTC and ETH are staying still red while we hit the green. Well, actually they were green, weren't they? We just talked about the green like 1.5 years ago, the Hex solo run. What? Hex starting, what are you talking about? I'm pretty sure the charts were green. Francis says, hello all. Were they? I'm pretty sure they're all up by one. I did just discover that. Almost having, you're confusing me there, Hardy Hex Lauren, man. Definitely smash the likes though. I agree with that one. Definitely smash the likes. Coconuts and House is super happy to see all the people who stuck this out. Yeah, that's true. Delayed gratification for the win. Woo! Yeah. People are getting a little bit nervous down at the 1.7 mark. Here we are at 7.7, and we're rocking it up. We're going to talk all about this chart in a second. Just going through some of the chat, the comments. Howdy everybody. Happy Thursday. Looks like Hex DIY pools coming out soon. Yes, with the Magic Upride. That's going to be very cool. Maximus launching today their pool party as well. So we're looking forward to Maximus' new product also. I actually pulled up Maximus today. We might check that out towards the live later on in the live stream and let me know. What else? Let's jump through some of these. We've got quite a few people jumped in there. Joe Money says paper money is public and private, 100%, 100% on that. And let's just go through this. Christian says, here we go. Government wants to take over and control crypto, 100%. Let me just jump through. Sorry, I'm going to jump through some of these comments just because there's quite a few. Let me just jump through those. Stook, that's so funny, man. 11 Aussie cents for Hex. Is that about $1 in Kiwi money? That's funny, mate. That's real funny. Good on you. That'd be cool if it was, though. I wouldn't be laughing about it. That's not really. It's pretty hilarious. DHEX says, send me a subscription super. I'm not sure what you mean by subscription. Sorry, DX. I didn't quite follow that. I know it's probably meaning something, but Brendan says, unfortunately, it is too late to push back the CBDC in Australia. There was a petition to keep cash and only got 125k signatures. Yeah, just the lack of people hearing about it probably is the problem there, Brendan. Jump through some of this. QQ says the case of a police grabbing a woman baby was in Australia. Now, there's been quite a few of them, QQ, and it's been quite horrific. But I know the one you're talking about. She's finally going to court over at Rebel News, covered it yesterday. Yeah, so it's great. We need to push back on the stuff, folks. These guys, they don't care about taking your power. They still think you're a bunch of sheep. It doesn't matter whether you've got high education and whatever your background. They really do think that they can take your freedoms away. And so we do need to push back now, right now, like in our obviously civil capacity. So cool. We just got some memberships given out. And of course, that was from Alfred Carpenter. Hey, big shout out, Alfred. Let's go down to there. I'm going to scroll down to there. And Alfred just gifted 5 Hex Token memberships. Awesome stuff. Francis picked one up. Big Kahuna picked one up. Burke Liver, I picked one up there. Planet Spaceship picked that one up. And excellent choice. So congratulations to all of you. Very, very cool indeed. Let me just see if I've got any other comments I want to talk about. And Beto says, thank you, Superman, for speaking the truth. You're welcome, man. Hey, freedom's the fundamental. Without it, it actually supports prosperity, right? For all of us. Not just freedom itself, but prosperity as well. This Hex pump is so nuts. Haters don't want to talk about it. Says QQ. That's true. And Sodman's and House Hex Token asked about the song Welcome Back. The show was Welcome Back Cotter. It had John Travolta in it. Right. Okay, cool. Thanks, Sodman. I appreciate that. Nice. QQ says smash the likes. Definitely smash the likes. And Pulsechain Trainer says welcome back, Carter. Welcome back, Carter. Yeah, it was quite a catchy tune. I remember that. Yesterday, Love Boat. Today, welcome back, Carter. That's hilarious. All right, let's get into it, folks. Let's talk about the chart. And let me get rid of the last comment I had there. We're going to catch up on that. Let me just see where I'm at to. Alfred, a nice one. Woohoo! Yeah, Alfred gave out those memberships. Big shout out to you. Very cool indeed. All right, here we are, folks. The Hex is at 7.729. Look at this back here. This is on the 15-minute chart. Back here, we're at 7.742. So we haven't quite got above that, but we're pretty close. We've got a beautiful upward trend going. It is glorious on the 15-minute chart. Beautiful. So let's jump away to the hourly chart. And this is what it looks like on the hourly there. So 15 minutes to the hourly. Looking pretty nice the last 3 hours. Looking pretty good. Remember that because we're going to look at the Hex whale. In fact, we might go to the Hex whale now and have a look at how we've been doing. So 20 hours ago, we had 2.3 million Hex sold for 154k. 2.7 million Hex bought for 192k 20 hours ago. We had 2.1 million Hex bought for 155k 18 hours ago. So if we look at the chart there, let's have a look where that was. So this is in this period here. So this part here, we had that buying coming in here. That was pretty cool. What else there? 2.4 million bought 17 hours ago, 175. 2.2 million bought for 166k 16 hours ago. 17.3 million Hex stake for 92 days. One of these big, large short stakers. Remember, anywhere between, say, 30 days and 90 days. They picked themselves up 691 T-shares. That's kind of cool. What else there? We've got 14 hours ago, 2.1 million bought for 158K. So we're now looking at 14 hours ago. So let's go 14 hours ago. So it's kind of cool. That's in this sort of zone here. And nice. Lots of buying. That's pretty cool. 4 hours ago, we had 2.4 million, however, sold for 175K. Let's see if we can see that on the chart there. 4 hours ago, and bam in there. So that's probably that red candle and that little dip there. Probably that little dip here is where we saw that selling. Let's see the dip there went down to 7.3. And that's pretty much it on the Whalebox. So it's kind of cool. Let's get into the 4 hourly and have a look here. So this is a 4 hourly chart here. Looking very, very good indeed. Obviously above all the averages at the moment on 4 hourly. Let's have a look at the RSI. RSI got this nice uptrend here. We're just sitting on 70 at the moment. So just on the borderline there of overbought on the 4 hourly. So looking pretty good there. Let's go to the daily candle and have a look at the daily. Get rid of the RSI there. This is the daily candle. And look at that. Beautiful stuff there. Absolutely fantastic. Now on the 24 hours, we're up 15.58%. And we had 552 trades on the top trading pair. That's 57% were buys. And we, in terms of volume, we had $3.5 million versus $3 million at 53% of the buy volume on the top trading pair, the Hex USD V3. And so that is the summary there. We're up 2.6% on the 6 hour and a third of a percent on the 1 hour chart there. So looking very good. Let's have a look at the full chart though. Looking glorious. Are we looking glorious? This blue line, remember, is the really key one there. That's the end of the Hex bear downtrend. And of course, that we're busting through it. Busting through it, folks, and it is a big deal. And we covered it yesterday. We covered it today. Yeah. We covered it yesterday. We covered it today. You can see the blue line there. This is 50 cents at the top. 35 cents. These formed our downward resistance. We were in that bear trend there, and we have just busting out of it today. We have just closed the hour, so we're 12 minutes into the next day. So we have officially closed above the Hex long-term resistance. You can say goodbye to the Hex bear, technically, at least from the downtrend, and we obviously have a chance to probably move sideways, move up, just depending on what news flow we get. Obviously, we're expecting Pulsechain testnet V3 to come pretty soon. And that is awesome. Look at that thing. Let's just take a moment just to really celebrate that. That's a big deal for the Hex chart. We had the golden cross here. That was our 50-day EMA, exponential moving average, over the 200-day exponential moving average. And we had that, so it was bullish. We've surpassed the 3.3 lower high here in the bear market, the 5 cents for Hex for bear market, and we've crossed the 7.3 to 7.4 one here. And the next one here is 8.6 on my chart. So that's my next target, is the 8.6. You can see we sort of bounced off here and got resistance here at about 8.6 cents. So that is for the next one for me. And then obviously the next one is 10 cents, right? 10 cents here. And you can see 10 cents was previously support. And of course, that is our next logical one there for 10 cents. So 8.6 to 10 cents. That's our next targets. Those are the next two. So kind of cool. We've got a very good, strong move above here. This is super, super cool to see this. I've seen other people subsequently comment on it. So it's been very cool from that point of view. So well done to everybody. I like to take a moment just to take the successes as they come, right? It's fun to have the price go up, but it's very, very cool to see that happen. So we'll get rid of the overlays. Let's do go from the bottom here at 1.7 cents. How far are we up from that? We are currently up in about 61 days. We're up 360%. So yesterday we were up 330%. Today we're up 360 in 2 months. So congratulations, you guys held through. It was a tough time. When it gets down to 1.7, it's a real psychological thing, starts churning over, and you see your staker at portfolio, all that sort of stuff. But man, what a huge recovery there, 72. And of course, Hex is doing very well by itself in its own fundamentals. But of course, Hex is the proxy for Pulsechain coin at the moment. And of course, people are getting excited for that. It's going to be the super layer one in crypto. We've got big influencers, big exchanges, all that sort of stuff. The walls are falling down. The floodgates are going to open up. And I really do think that we've hardly seen any money that's going to come in. It's going to come in. When the big players want to get positions, they're going to come in there. We've seen a nice little up in volumes here, but I think that's going to be nothing compared to where we'll be heading in the future. You can see some of these big volumes here coming in here when we're at the all-time high. Very, very cool. So let's do some quick fun maths, and we're going to do some tensor calculus. So get your handbooks out, get your pen out, get your calculators out. We're going to get some tensor calculus here, and have a look at this. All right. So just wait. I'm just kidding. We're not doing that. We're just doing some basic maths. I just like to make jokes because it's funny. Let's go for it. So we've got 52 divided by 7.7. 7.7 was it 46? That is 6.7x, folks. 6.7 times up to the all-time high from here. So it's getting a lot easier. Before it was 10 times. Now it's like 6.7. So that's pretty cool. Before we had 52. Let's divide that by 1.7. We had it was a 30.5x to get to the all-time high. Now it's only a 6.7x. So this is how the numbers change very quickly. It's crazy, right? Crazy. Very nice on that one. So this is a 4.6x return so far. Very, very cool. By 360%. We're at 7.7, pushing higher. It is glorious. Look at that on the daily. Beautiful stuff there. So what else is interesting? Let's have a look at we've had a look at the 360% rise in 2 months. Let's have a look at how far are we down at the moment. We're down from 80. We got down to 97%, approximately, just short of 97% decrease after doing a 10,000x, which is a big deal. Only a few coins have done that. A few tokens have done that. We're still down 85%. So it was down 97, down 85. Still pretty attractive. And of course, who else in crypto has the big Pulsechain layer 1 coming? The first, and importantly, very importantly, the first proof of stake fork of Ethereum. And of course, we're going to have 4 clients to start off with: Aragon, Prism, GoGeth, and of course Lighthouse as well. So 2 execution clients, two consensus clients, and that will represent about a 90 and 85% of the execution and consensus clients that are operating on Ethereum. So even though there's many other client operators on there, like TQ and I think it's Bisu and others, we're going to have the main ones. You know, they're covering a big percentage of that, so it's kind of cool. And we still have that diversity play there, so it's going to be fun. All right, so that is where we're at there on the chart. It's looking pretty glorious there. That golden cross is so cool. And where we're going to head to from here, it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, let's get into a bit of the time frame here. Now, we still have one big hurdle ahead of us. It's not so much around, obviously we have operational risk, you know, and what we mean by that is that obviously we have to have the chain launch pretty well and pretty reasonable. We have a few minor issues, but really want it to launch pretty well and obviously run up. And Richard and his team are taking their due care with that. Now, the other thing, of course, is that we only got announced only a little while ago. We had the Ethereum blockchain fork a little while back there. We're 168 days since we had the Ethereum fork there, so it's pretty crazy. And of course, even shorter since Richard Hart announced on the 9th of October, he announced on Hexologist show that we were going to fork the proof of stake rather than go with the proof of work, which made a lot of sense and is upgradable for all the future upgrades, including the Shanghai fork there. So it's kind of cool. So it's been 143 days since that announcement. So it's kind of pretty quick turnaround. Obviously, they've got to change the metadata, the scaling, and all that sort of stuff for Pulsechain, given the fact that there's trillions of coins, not millions of coins like Ethereum. And of course, we're looking at around about a 1.2 million to 1 ratio there from Pulse to ETH. It's kind of the play. So it's going to be cool. So looking good there. Looking good. I think it's pretty fast timing, right? So I do expect us to have a bit more time in this play. And that gets us into the talk about the testnet there. I've got the testnet running here, coming up here. We may very well get it this weekend. It's always possible. The Aragon is looking pretty good. They probably wrap that up, probably. And just getting rid of the tooling. It was the last update we had from Richard. We're going to talk about that in a second. But getting that up. So yeah, that could be very close and super bullish. I actually think it's a big deal. Proof of stake. I think, let's see how the market looks at it. The market might say, hey, there'll be a bit of profit taking maybe, you know, buy the rumor, sell the news if the testnet comes out. But then after that sell-off, I think the market will go, hey, this thing's working pretty well. And mainnet's coming. And then they start pricing up the market. So if there is a bit of a little sell-off there, the big money might come and say, whoa, wait a minute. We're getting our positions now. You let your retail plebs and a few other bigger accounts sell down, and then we're going to come in. So that might very well happen, that scenario. and then of course we might have a bit of a hockey stick going up the other end. So we're looking out for that. That's definitely one scenario that could play out. Now obviously we're breaking apart this. We could end up rising and then even coming back down a scenario, hitting back down on the resistance. So this blue line becomes support, it's currently resistance, and we just broke through that, so it becomes support, and then we bounce off that in some way. So we're going to have some pattern move forward here. I tend to think it's going to be pretty bullish, and away we go. So the market's going to re-rate Hex as the proxy for Pulsechain because of the Ethereum proof of stake. Now remember, it's not just the vertical integration, it's not just the main chain. So Pulsechain is a fork of Ethereum. We're going to have PulseX, fork of essentially Uniswap, PancakeSwap type thing, and then we're going to have V2 on there, and then we're going to have obviously build around that whole ecosystem of, we've got a lot, not all of them, but we've got a lot of the main valuable TVL utilities on Ethereum are going to be on Pulsechain. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So it's going to be cool, and I imagine we'll have all of them by the time it's all said and done. So it's going to be pretty cool. That is where we are at the moment, and I'm very excited about this. So we got the testnet there. I do feel some people think it's going to be like a short testnet. I just don't see that. It's not prudent software development, even if you're forking some code, because you have done some changes. If it has, I think it's better to put it this way, if it has low issues, we have a quicker time frame for launching mainnet. If we have a few more issues, maybe longer time frame, but that's just the technical considerations. There's also the market considerations when you launch the market, and I still think the better timings after the interest rate rises occur. I think that's the best time for the market. So talking about that, I've still got the earliest time frame for Pulsechain launch here in May, June. And we've also got the Fed rate hikes here, the three times 25. Excuse me, that would get us up to 5.25, 5.5, which would be a 5.4 rather than our 5.1 we were hoping for back in May. I think we'll probably by June about 5.4. So obviously the stock market's going to particularly get impacted by that. That's going to create a period of volatility. And I said to you, we've got just under 3 weeks to go for this first one in March. So remember that our window will get more volatile as we get closer to that period. Maybe we've got another week or so. But that could be quite glorious week with particularly Pulsechain testnet launches. It's kind of where I feel we're going to be at this stage. Nice. Once we get to June, there's a very good chance, I think, depending on where the inflation goes, data goes over this couple of months, that we will get the true terminal rate pivot at 5.4, and then maybe we just hold that all the way through to the end of the year. And that is how long. So this is phase one, is the end of the terminal rate pivot. Then, of course, keeping that rate up at 5.4, subject to market data. And then, of course, after that, we have a true pivot where we get back to more, quantitative easing rather than QT. We moved, which is quantitative tightening. We moved to QE, quantitative easing there with the interest rate in particular. Maybe some money printing as well. We'll see. Maybe they have to do some money printing to fund their wars that we want to do. Anyway, so that is kind of the play there. That's the lay of the land. All right, so looking pretty good at the moment overall. Let's get back into Hedron. We're going to talk about that. I will get back into the channel, into the chat, soon. What else? We got Hedron here at 2,163. Nice little rebound for Hedron, so congratulations to everybody. Did bounce off this candle here on the daily 4 days ago. Bounced off 1809, currently at 2,163. It is up 7.6% on the 24 hours. 31 buys to 41 sells, so 43% on the buy side, and the volume's also on the sell side, 59, but it's going up here in the last wee while. It's a bit weird. I'm not sure whether this data matches up with the candles here. I'm not sure what's happening there. It's a bit weird. Let's have a look here. What's that looking like? Yeah, that data does make very little sense. This data is not making any sense there. We have to jump away from this. Something's not quite right there. We've got the Acosa there is 3,878 Hex HSIs in the auction, and we've got how many in there in the actual auction house? We've got 14. So a bit of a low day today. We've got 500 million Hex though coming up in an hour and a half. 65 T-shares. So if that's something that you want to bid for, it's currently bidding at 6.5 billion Hedron. What else we got there? 12 T-shares, 19 T-shares, 43 T-shares, and then 66. So another 500,000 Hex here up for grabs. It's currently got 365 million on it, but 12 hours to go. So if you want to bid on those, you need Hedron, and of course you need to use app.acosa.pro. You can find that in our useful links under Hedron Acosa in our Discord. So definitely check that useful links in our Discord. The link's in the video description. That is pretty much the auctions. And of course, so far today, 8 watts of NFTs were burned in the last 24 hours. This is from Dev Huey. And of course, 12,703 endpoints. That's a pretty decent amount. We've now got 21,553 left. So look, hey, look, it's last crowd standing because no one's burning these things. It's hardly being burned. We've got 2.31% been burned. It's supposed to be the last man standing, but no one's burning. They always love this. Everyone loves this stuff. Anyway, so we've got 21,553 still left. 97.7%. It's hilarious, right? It is hilarious. All right, that is pretty funny. Last crowd standing. You heard it here first. That is my stand-in joke. Yeah. We're going to get into the Pulsechain update. Before we do that, though, let's get back into the chat, catch up, because I'm probably a bit behind there. And we'll get back to the Hex chart too. Stay tuned for that. All right, where are we up to on here? I can't remember where I got up to. I think I got Lights Beneath was in the house. I got up to there, I'm pretty sure. All right, busting through like a champ, says Brennan. Absolutely. What else? 3.6x, says Brennan. 4.6x, is it? 360%. We're still pumping. Woohoo! Let's go, DHEX. And check my pulse says, woohoo! First stake ended successfully. Nice one, check my pulse. Well done to you, man. Well done. Congrats, checks. Yep, absolutely big check. Congrats. I think we need to give you a. What else? Ed Havana says, respect the pump. Absolutely respect the pump there. We're enjoying it, that's for sure. Francis says, one of my stakes finishes in November. Nice. It's a cool thing about staking ladder, as you guys know, for passive income, I do like staking ladders. I think that's best. Obviously, mathematically for Hex, the max period is the best by a long shot, between 10 and 15 years in particular. The returns go up pretty parabolically there. Xenology in the house, hey Xenology. Diamond hands, definitely got a diamond hands there. Christian Collins says, great stream. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Pulsechain in the house here. Let's go. Let's go. Absolutely. It's so much fun, man. We're in the best ecosystem, honestly. Crypto, the best performing asset class. Richard Hart tokens and coins, the gold standard of crypto. Really is going to be. We're taking over crypto, man. It's just happening. Just stay the time. Time in the market. We are doing it. We've got Pulsechain coming. We're going to take. We're going to make DeFi great, and we're going to take over market share in crypto. And of course, CeFi and centralized exchanges, particularly under pressure from not just regulators, but from their own stupidity, wrecking, playing with people's money on their platforms. I'm not sure of the name, but I think you have to dust off the spreadsheet from last year when we were guessing the Pulsechain chart start data. I've done 4 rounds of that, I think, so we should do another 5th round. You're right. I think I said June the 10th. But maybe 2023 now, lol. Yeah. Hey, look, I think that's probably more likely with the mainnet, but we'll dust off the spreadsheet and do maybe a 5th round for sure. Acosa was at a nice price, says Christian. Nice, good to see that. What else we got there? QQ says, I've had that issue too on Deck Screener. The candles don't match the time chosen. Yeah, something was wrong with the summary data and the price, so I just deleted it. So at least I sort of caught that. I was like, what? This still makes no sense. Just got out of bed, coffee crypto then, says Matt and Bali. Big shout out to you, Matt. You're probably recovering from the Bintang Bears. Maybe that's the case. All right, let's jump into it. We're going to get into the Pulsechain update. This is my favorite section. I love Hex too. I love Hex, especially when it's going up green candles. All right, so this was Richard Hart's last update. And of course, this was where he said Pulsechain up there. Now, the reason why I'm covering this, though, people that miss it may, go through it. A great Pulsechain news. Dev bet the bug and got stage 9 complete in the Aragon. Remember, Aragon's one of the 2 execution clients, and it is a fork of GoGeth, and of course, it is it really is a streamlined version. You need about a third of the data or a quarter of the data to run as well. It's kind of cool. This means it's likely that the remaining metadata generating stages will complete as well. That's probably all done by now, a long time ago. It was the 27th, so yeah, maybe a day or so ago. All clients are testing well now, and the tooling has been prepared for testnet of V3 launch, and that's what set the market going. The market loved that, so very, very cool. This was a very good update. It was better than the last one. So this is the way you put the updates. So hats off there. Now this is up to 541,000 views, folks. It's just going up and up. It's really, really cool. You can imagine when testnet goes, I think we're probably looking at 1 million to 1.5 million. And then mainnet we'll probably get 2-3 million views. Is probably going to happen. It's going to be pretty wild, pretty wild. We should see a lot of projects come out of the woodwork too that are coming on Pulsechain. Richard Hart says also posted a screenshot of when they knew the bug was dead, and of course I did a live stream, Richard Hart the bug slayer, because I thought it was funny. That was pretty much it. All right, so that's kind of cool. What else? Let's jump over to the GitLab in here, or GitLab. We've got Pulsechain GitLab here. We've got the devs. So 3 commas was in there on the 1st of March. Brett is on there on the March the 1st. The reason why I'm covering this every day at the moment is just because we're expecting the testnet V3 to come. So it's kind of what we're trying to keep the vibe going, because we're expecting that. And then of course, what else we had? We also had SJB in the house there, and the devs there logging in for work. 1st of March there. Who knows what they're doing when they're logging in there, but generally it's probably some sort of work around Pulsechain, right? So that is the Pulsechain. Now we got a Pulsex group. We got 3 commas in there working hard, 1st of March. Agris is in there working hard, 1st of March. Brett Paulson, of course, Bretep, our Stargate Egyptian god, Bretep, is in there 1st of March there. And we've got Heinz in there as well, 1st of March. So working hard here, these teams and as well. So that's kind of cool. Now, obviously, that we covered this on the time. This was very fortunate. We covered it live on the stream just before, not too long before the update came. And Richard here had been logging in, and it's just like, oh, that was pretty interesting as well. Hadn't been in there for months. So cool. That is the team. They're working. Pulsechain testnet V3 is coming soon. Now, this is our only project update for Pulsechain today. That is Staker app. So they have said we are running our own Lighthouse and Aragon nodes. Isn't that cool? So we're running our own Lighthouse and Aragon nodes for Ethereum. So Lighthouse, the consensus client, and Aragon, the execution client for Ethereum, and we're ready for Pulsechain. So they disclosed that was pretty neat. So obviously they're going to be up and running for Pulsechain. Remember, Staker also wanted to be one of the top. A lot of our top tier teams were wanting to be in the proof of work. They were going to offer, validating there, right? Because it's good for their brand as well. It's probably more for their brand, and of course they get a lot of people participating. It's really good at getting sticky clients, right? Sticky clients. So good to see this on the coming to Pulsechain quick there. For extra redundancy, please retweet if you want. Quick node to support Pulsechain nodes. All developers will benefit from their top-notch, cheap, and reliable infrastructure there. So if you guys want to tweet that out, I'll post it in the chat there so you guys can help out with that. Let's see. This ways people can help out in the community. Retweet or something like that. And away to go. So that's kind of cool. And where is that? That is the one there. So that is if you want to retweet and help out getting more utility onto Pulsechain. That's simple. That's all you have to do. All right, so that was great news. Let's jump over we're going to get to the Hex Daily Stats. Before we do that, though, we're going to get into the Hex price. Let's get rid of the overlays and go to the 15-minute chart and talk about that. That is the Hex chart now. Pushing higher is the Hex chart. 7.72 cents here. Can we do it? Yes, we can. We've got the poll in the chat there. Let's see what the votes are. We've got 100 votes. We're going to end on 100 votes. Well done, everybody. I really appreciate the voting. 101 votes. Oh, someone snuck in there just at the end there. We got Will Hex be over 8 cents by Sunday. 77% out of 102 votes there said yes, and I think I'm in that camp too. Maybe 14%, no 3%, and don't know, unsure 3%. So yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before we did it? And we did the 7 cents, and we did that, so we won that. And then, of course, we'll win the 8 cents mark here. Feel free, if you're in the no camp and we don't make it, come in the chat and say, hey, I was right. We didn't make it. Feel free to do that. That's all good. All right, so here we are, folks. We're pushing high here. Looking really good is the chart. So let me just scroll up on that and we'll auto-log that. There's the Hex chart there at the moment. Look at that. 7.7 cents, man. It's almost like you don't even want to talk about the Hex Daily Stats. But, of course, you guys know on this live stream, we always get paid on this live stream every day. If you're staking T-shares, that is. If you're not, you don't get paid. Anyway, let's get into Hex Daily Stats. We got day 1185 hot off the press. It's probably about 10 minutes old. And the 1st of March, folks. The 1st of March. Here we go, folks. This is the last day, I think, of the 3rd month or the 4th year. We're about to cross over tomorrow, I believe, into the, is it tomorrow or the day after, into the 4th month. So cool, 1st of March. We got a price at 7.697, up almost 15%, folks. 14.9 on the back of 6.9, 5.7. So pretty good last couple of days is the old Hex price there. The ROI multiplier from all-time low, the 5th of January 2020, is 1,363x returns. And if you were one of those 1 or 2 people that got that, congratulations. We did have someone on our live stream once say, oh yeah, I was there that time. So, if we believe that, that's good. Congratulations to them, of course. Now, the Hex payout per T-share was 6.345. Another great day. We get paid, folks. Every day we do this live stream, we do the end of the UTC day, which is the end of the Hex day payments, and we get paid every time. 6.345, very nice indeed. Great stuff there. T-share price over $2,000. Woohoo! And I remember yesterday I did a calculation that if we were at the all-time high price of Hex of 52 cents, that we would be up at about $13,800. Given where the share rate is at the moment. Share rate is at 26,536, up 3.5 Hex per T-share today. That's only going up and to the right. It's not coming down, and it's going to go up dramatically from now on. Okay, so for the years ahead, the share rate will be going up dramatically. We were at the first couple of years, we're at the low end of the curve of the share rate, and it's expected to just go up steep. Is that the right direction? Or is it this direction? I always have to do the opposite, right? But it's going to go, we're at the low end. We're starting to just climb up that steep end, folks, of the share rate. It's going to really start climbing, making this even more exclusive as the T-shares there. So it's a very important turning point. You heard it on this channel. And don't say that you never heard it, because I just told you. So, yeah. So $2,042 is the T-share price. Now, you can get this for a third of the price if you do longer pays better. You get 20% more shares per year when you buy and stake Hex. Your Hex gets burned, it goes off the market, it reduces the circulating supply, and of course you get that, mint that all back at the end of your investment period, and of course you get that plus all your reward pool, including the inflation and penalties from other people that don't keep their responsibilities. So yeah, you can get that, so up to 200% for 10 years, and of course get that for a third of the amount, so it's kind of cool. Now the average stake length is 6.43 years. That's going to jump up when the Hex Gold Whale comes out, and we're going to talk about that. The Hex Gold Whale is staked for 30 days, and of course 3.5 billion Hex there, about 146,000 T-shares, and of course that includes some of its tokenaire exit, the Trayvon's Hourglass DApp, and of course that is exited, and they got paid. I saw some of the posts from the tokenaire guys that are still in the Hourglass. There used to be 2 main Hourglasses, and one of them did pretty well. I think got up to a billion Hex in it. That closed down. And then, of course, that was by a number of things and his team. And then, of course, Trayvon did his Hourglass tokenaire, and they had a couple of different variations on that. And yeah, apparently the Hex Gold Whale was in there, and just exited. So that was pretty hilarious. They got a big payout because it's a 10% exit fee, folks. It was a 10% exit fee from the Hex Gold Whale. Put your hand up, yeah, because I saw quite a few people posting their payouts, and oh man, they look juicy, man. So $50,000, one of them was $50,000. This guy just got like that, bam, instant crazy stuff. So some fun stuff there. All right. Anyway, we got these stakes here. These are our large holders. They typically stake short term, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. We've got about 2.5 billion in these next 5 days here in these candles. There's about 2.5 billion Hex there, and that equates to around about 106,000 T-shares are expiring by the end of this period here. Now, most of these will probably just restake. They either like the flexibility, they're either just scraping interest, or they're waiting for Pulsechain. There's all sorts of strategies going on with these. Most of them just restake. They are getting diluted because the share rate is going up pretty dramatically, and it will continue to do so over the rest of the year. So the short staking will start to hurt them, particularly from now on. With the large holders. So it is a good strategy up to this point while we're on the low end of the share rate curve. But as the share rate curve starts to rocket up there, they will start getting a heck of a lot of T-shares. The only way to do better than that, obviously, is longer pays better. They get bigger pays better bonus, a lot of them, because they've got so much Hex in there, but really that's going to start impacting. And Hex Gold Whale seems to be playing into this as well. This is the second stake we've seen. and it boosted it with the token there. And then, of course, its returns, just recovering some of its 10% exit fee from token there and getting that back. So it's a fun gains, folks. Fun gains in Hex. It's not a boring space at all. It's pretty fun. So anyway, that's going to happen. We'll see what happens after this. This is the next, I think I've got 3 months here, 3 months ahead. You can see there's hardly many big stakes ahead of us, folks. We had quite a few the last couple of weeks, OG stakes come out. People that had staked for like 3 years or so, 3 years, and maybe they staked in February, March 2020, and it's coming out here. But look at this, not many there as well. I mean, if you remember the candles we had back in the old day before the sacrifices and everything else, we had billion candles all over the place, folks, all over the place. We're like, hell, man, look at all those billion. I think, I can't remember. I'm not even going to guess the number, but it was a pretty big number of billion candles sitting around the place. How times have changed. How times have changed. All right, so that's that. Let's jump into the rest of the Hex Daily stats. Sorry, I got lost on that one. That was pretty fun, though. APY rate there, the yield and emergency state penalties is 35.89% paid out in Hex terms. Obviously, the US dollar price moves around there. Liquidity in the pool, oh man, look at this, 38.6 million Hex in the pool. When we were at 52 cents, we had 58 million Hex in the pool. So it just shows you how liquidity can move around quite dramatically in an AMM pool like Uniswap. Wow, look at that. And 7.8 million US dollars, 2,700 ETH in the pool there. It's been restructured to support the price going up. LP providers there, so it's kind of cool. T-shares are down 8,141, and we're sitting at 10,235,000. And don't forget, obviously, this includes the short stake by the Hex Godwalk here, about 3.5 billion with about 146,000 T-shares, I think it was in there. So cool. That candle's actually got 100 and I can't even remember what it had. It's got a big amount in here. Let's leave it at that. All right, so cool. Let's scroll over to the right. We've got the amount of coin staked, so token staked, sorry, is 10.2% of Hex's staked at the moment. We got 918,000 in penalties. 50% goes to the origin account and 50% goes to us as stakers. So if you're staking, that's in addition to the inflation reward, which was around 65 million distributed to you based on the amount of T-shares you have versus the whole pool. So it's kind of cool. What else? The growth in the ecosystem. We're up 432 accounts today. Hey, nothing beats the price chart going up and to the right in crypto. It is the best marketing, low-hanging fruit. And yeah, 432 is increased. We got up to 321,957 current holders. The staker numbers down low. Not a great day for staker numbers, unfortunately. We had okay days in the last couple of days. We're at 8 stakers today, so it's a bit of a low day. 119,247 is the number. And of course, Richard Hart always says, get out there and do direct promotions, whatever you can, spread the good word, because obviously we're talking about the best in today's video. We're talking about the best passive income 2023. It is the best. You know, crypto is the best performing asset. Hex and Pulsechain, PulseHex coming up. They're going to be the best forms of passive income. And of course, particularly if you get in the right platforms. Obviously, Hex is a mutable code on the blockchain, and the rewards are pretty stellar, as we saw earlier. The change in total holders up 490 to 535,330 as well. Now, obviously, Hex is a DeFi project. You mint your own rewards. You stake. It's all up to you. And of course, the results do get impacted by everybody's actions with staking and things like that, with the share rate, and it's just the way it goes. So it's kind of cool. That is the Hex Daily Stats, folks, for day 1185. We're on day 1186, and I think this is the last day of the third month. So there we are. We're moving on forward there. All right. So cool. That is pretty much that. Let's jump away. We're going to get into some of the stuff here. Now I've got the best passive income in 2023. And of course, hex.com, folks, check it out. Links in the video description. Make sure you always do your own investment due diligence. Nothing on this channel is investment advice. And of course, here we are. Who can see Pulsechain doing a 1000x? Obviously, at the moment, Pulsechain is coming up. And of course, it's going to be the first proof of stake fork of Ethereum. And of course, it's not just anything, right? So it's going to have PulseX as well, fork of pretty much Uniswap v2 is what's going to be used, the underlying tech there. And it's going to be exciting to see that. And then we're going to obviously have an AMM bot run, and this is particularly special into this, and of course going to harvest all the liquidity pools, Uniswap, PancakeSwap, maybe Bancor, Balancer, maybe 0x and other things like that, possibly. We'll see at the end of the day. And so it's pretty exciting. Obviously that's going to set up the liquidity pairs, very important. And of course people won't have confusion when they're going to trade. The liquidity pairs will be set up. We're going to see custom pairs set up by people as well. People set up their own pairs. And then, of course, we're going to see bridged in pairs as well after a day or two when the bridge opens up. We'll see bridge pairs come in and US dollar values applied as well. So it's going to be pretty awesome. On top of that, of course, we're going to have a lot of the top tier TVL dApps, utility dApps on Ethereum will be on Pulsechain. We saw that recently with Binance launching, adding a liquidity, LQTY, to Binance, and it did over 100% on that first day because Binance is moving away to probably the more DeFi stables. And of course, that's awesome. So we're going to have all the best of DeFi. We're going to have 2 forks of liquidity and much more. We're going to have fork of Aave, fork of GMX. We're going to have so much good stuff coming to Pulsechain. It's going to be absolutely epic. So Hex is going to be great. When you buy Hex at the moment, you're going to get a copy as well on Pulsechain. So not only is it a proxy for Pulsechain at the moment, so you're getting an uplift from that valuation, but also you're going to get a copy of it on Pulsechain. So you're going to have a 2-for-1 deal at the moment, which is pretty cool. So at 7.7 cents. That's what 3.4 cents each Hex. So Hex on ETH and Hex on Pulsechain, pretty amazing. Plus, if you stake it, you have a chance to get an awesome yield. I think it's about 9.99% for a 12-month stake at the moment on Hex. And of course, the longer pays better bonus in there means that you can get way up into 20%, 25% and beyond. It's pretty cool there on the share rate. So definitely best passive income, fantastic. And of course, the outlook is awesome. For both Hex, Pulsechain, and PulseX. So really cool. A lot of the top tier dApps, of course, are all doing profit sharing in Hex. So really it's going to transform DeFi. Own your keys, your coins, and of course immutable code and profit sharing. You can't ask for much better than that. And I cannot see anything else beating out this ecosystem in crypto. CeFi and centralized exchanges got really smashed last year. It's only amplified how awesome Pulsechain and DeFi is going to be. As we take over more of the crypto market share. The only responsibility I think that we have is that we have to do a lot of education, to outreach to people that are still doing, being fooled into margin trading or anything else. When they get into crypto, it can be quite daunting, and just education around that. And I see people like Rags to Riches and other people getting out doing education like that. It's pretty cool. We've got a beginner series from Rag to Riches in our useful links. If you're new to crypto, you want a 101, then Rag to Riches, one of the influencers in the Hex and Pulsechain community, has got a cool series for you. I think Crypto Coffee also has some good series on that as well. Definitely 2 people. There's others, of course, but those are 2 ones that come to mind. So that's pretty cool on that. And of course, you can see potential for Pulsechain. Not only do you get awesome passive APY on Hex, staking your Hex, and the price goes up, so you get yield and price on Hex. That's pretty much what you're looking for. It's obviously nothing guaranteed, but that's what you're looking for there as well. And so the yield on Hex is pretty much built into the contract. Obviously, price appreciation is subject to market. But how high can Pulsechain go? Obviously, Pulsechain's coming, and of course, we've got some pretty amazing stuff here. 1.4 years. We have X returns 656 average here. Looking at AVAX, BNB, Solana, Luna, FDM, Atom, Celo, and you can see the chance for Pulsechain doing very well. It's going to be fun to see how that goes. So the upside looking pretty good. I'm pretty confident about a 100 to 300x, and I think that's probably reasonably may end up being conservative. So it's going to be fun. All right, what else there? Bull markets can go crazy too, by the way. Bull markets just can do some crazy things too. All right, now the more dApps that we have that are supply syncing as well, we have dApps that you're obviously going to be able to validate on Pulsechain, but if you can't validate on Pulsechain, you can do it. There'll probably be solo staking, pooled staking, centralized exchanges, staking as a service on Pulsechain, all the innovation. There'll be new products around that, especially if you haven't got 32 million Pulse. In addition to that, of course, there are going to be platforms like Liquid Loans where you can put your Pulse in. That takes supply off the market, makes the Pulse more rare. We're also going to have the burning mechanism, faster blockchain times, 10-second blocks on Pulsechain. So we're going to have faster burning through EIP 1559 on Pulsechain, and of course, possibly a 25% inflation burn as well. It's not quite 100% clear on how that's going to happen. We're just on the total inflation, the 1.2 million to 1. On the Pulsechain, so we'll look for more information from Richard on that one, but it's going to be pretty cool. So yeah, we get supply syncs from that. We've got supply syncs from validating. We've got burning in the Pulsechain fees. We're going to have third-party dApps that take Pulse, like liquid loans, issue new stable coins, add more value, buy more Pulse, take that off the market, recycle that. So you can see how this all takes off pretty amazing in the first 4 to 6 weeks. It's going to be awesome. I expect that we're going to have waves of value appreciation in Pulsechain as we launch. The first wave is excitement about Pulsechain and AMM and PulseX and everything else. Incentive token, all yield farmers come on. All the people come to get their free tokens and realize how amazing the ecosystem is. And then, of course, we're going to have the next wave of DeFi coming in 4 to 6 weeks later. Then we're going to have the next wave of institutional monies and all that sort of stuff play out. New offerings and an expansion in the DeFi dApps offered. So that this goes on and on and on. It's going to be fun. Particularly first 18 months on Pulsechain is going to be pretty exciting to see that. And, of course, PulseX as well. See how PulseX competes against Pulsechain with the big buy and burn, which is going to be fun to see that. Imagine thousands of trading peers all buying and burning PulseX. It's going to be glorious. Very, very cool. We should see some Pulsechain and PulseX wealth transfer into Hex as well as the ultimate savings product. So we're going to see some of that go on too, in addition to mass adoption with the main chain, the layer 1 chain, as we head for glory in crypto. We've got some cool examples here of people that have bought some Hex as well. We've got Lil Hexico here. I just pulled this off Twitter. He says, while everybody in crypto is massively wrecked, these are some of my dozens of Hex stakes, up at 2.5 to 6.9x at the current price, even after a huge correction. Imagine when we tap $1 Hex. So he's just got a couple of examples of his estimated cost and his current value. And of course, it's pretty awesome here, right? So current value 13,000, cost 2,000. So pretty cool examples. This one here is estimated cost 1,140. It's got a 4.7x here. 5,400 at the current prices, and so on. And remember, we're still got a 6.7x to go to all-time high in price, so the upside potential is pretty exciting, especially with Pulsechain down the line there. 6.9x on this one, pretty cool. 2.6x on this one, and these are all coming out different time frames in the future. Last one's here 2030, but as you can see, it's pretty cool. 2026, 6.9, and this is the current price at the moment, and with the current yield, which is expected to go up over time. So that was pretty cool there from Little Hexico. We also got another one here from Funding Jim, a well-known influencer and personality in the Hex Pulsechain community. He's got here Hex, August the 5th, 2022. Market bought Hex to create 3 stakes, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, $30,000. Today that is worth $46,000 today. So it cost him $30,000, worth $46,000. He bought that in August last year. Where will price be when stakes complete? Hex question marks there. Obviously 1, 2, 3 years. 54% within 6 months is relatable growth. Rate to real estate guys like Ken McElroy, George Gammon, and Jason Hartman, ROI. BTC is up $406 in 8 months. So just shows you completely outdoing the old Bitcoin. These are some of the stakes he's got here. And when you do stake Hex, is what they looks like. When you stake your Hex, you put your Hex in here, the stake amount and the amount of length of days. And you get a longer pays better bonus, a bigger pays better bonus. That gives you a conceptual effective Hex at the beginning. You divide that by the tier share rate, and it gives you the amount of T shares. Remember, the T shares is what you own in the ownership pool. And of course, that is what you're after in Hex. When you stake Hex, you want to get T shares, and the share rate's going up against you. So earlier pays better, longer pays better. You get 20% more shares per year, up to 10 years, and bigger pays better. You get up to 10% to 150 million Hex. So if you're lucky enough to have tons of Hex, that will work out for you. So these are the 4 stakes that he put in place. 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, I think it was. And you can see the principal, 200,000, 200,000, 200,000, 26,000. He's got the T shares here, 13 T shares, 12 T shares, 10 T shares. This is his share of the ownership pool. Remember I said there was 10.25 million Hex in the T shares in the Hex pool. He's got 37 of them here. He's got his yield, 50,922 so far. That's his interest yield with rewards. Looking pretty good. So he put in 628,000 in August last year. He's already made 50,922 on the yield. This is just in Hex terms. But in terms of the price has also gone up significantly. And he's also got that. So his total Hex has gone from 628,000 to 679,000 with the yield, which is immutable in the contract. And then, of course, he's got the price appreciation as well. And so it's now worth $46,000. Was worth 30 when you bought it. So his principal was 30. It's now worth 46,000 with the yield and price appreciation. And that's with Hex still down 85% from its all-time high. So it's going to be fun to see that with Pulsechain on the way. So cool, some cool examples there. And that's 2 of them. This one here is also pretty interesting. Hex had a strong staking activity during February with 19.7% of all stakes issued with an initial value greater than 10,000. So bigger stakes are being made. Obviously, the price has gone up too. And this is the highest level since May 2022. This is a kind of neat little chart here. And you can see back here before February 2022 there, 8.6% was $10,000 stakes. Got pretty high here in April here 2022, around 21%. Came down to as low as 10.3% with around 10% of the stakes being $10,000 or more. And then finally in February here, 19.7 with obviously the price rise as well. We were up at $10,000 or more over there. So it's pretty neat. Thought it was a nice little observation on that chart. So that is some of the exciting stuff there. The best passive income 2023. Hex, Pulsechain, Pulsechain, going to be a lot of fun. We've got the Hex price at the moment, 7.692 cents, folks. Definitely check out hex.com. Once again, if you have any questions, get into our Discord. We can help you out there too. We've got lots of great people in our community that are willing to help you. And we've got all the links to Pulsechain, Pulsechain, and Hex if you want to find out more. We've got every single one. And of course, we've also got all the Pulsechain project ecosystem projects as well. Something like 130, 150 of those. We've got all those links there too. So join us in our Discord, links in the video description. So that's pretty much it on there. Let's go into the price chart. We're going to wrap up with the commentary. How many people? We've got 70 people watching, so big shout out to you. We're up to 1 hour and 25 minutes, so we've really gone over time here. But that's what happens on this channel sometimes, just the way it goes. Let's go back into the chat and find out what's been going on. Let's get back up here. Crowd goes wild. Right, definitely got up to here. Got up to Matt. Matt says, no bin tanks for me unless friends come over, says Matt. That's funny. What else? Let's get into here. Jump through that. Hex Stakes Hex says, thank you for the consistent stream, Superman. Can't wait to ride this thing to the top with you. Yeah, absolutely. We're all on the same journey, folks. Really is cool. I just decided to stream it. Stream the journey as well. That's probably the only difference. Francis in the house there with the fire. Love it. And Machiavelli with the rocket, something to the right. Definitely looking good on the Hex chart there. We got a very good bullish poll again. I think we'll probably end up being right. The 73% or whatever it was. So cool. Christian says, I just went to end one of my stakes and the fee equals to the amount of Hex. Well, it's a small stake. Christian, I would you get 2 weeks reprieve before you start getting penalized. So I would just wait to the weekend when there's low gwei. Just pick up a low gwei period and that will be much cheaper for you. You want to get your gwei as low as possible. So yeah, you can check that out. So let's have a look at the money. Let's go to money. And money ultrasound is for Ethereum. And let's have a look at the gwei at the moment. So this gives us a time frame. So the minimum gwei has been 14 so far in the last day. We actually need to go the last week. So 13 has been the low on the last week. And definitely the weekend's the best time. Let me just jump back here. Yeah, Sunday typically is pretty good. So this is Sunday. We're getting pretty low on Sunday, so it's probably your best time frame. This is around 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening UTC time on Sunday. So around dinner time. UTC plus 13 this is. So that's probably the cheapest time to end stake your stakes as they mature. We can see that the average over the last 7 days has been, fairly high, 16.9 to 26.4. Obviously, the market's doing pretty well, so gas prices are up there. And the max has been up to 117, which is obviously you don't want to do end stake at that point. That's just crazy stuff right there. So definitely trying to wait there. And of course, typically the weekend is the best time. So yeah, hopefully that helps. Let's look at the last 30 days. Minimum last 30 days, 11.1, which would be pretty nice for an end stake. And we don't seem to be getting under 10 gwei anymore. So yeah, that's the 30 gwei. Max has been 813 gwei on at least on this register here. Obviously it doesn't have the true peaks, I don't think, but it says 813, so I guess it's fairly accurate. But yeah, let's have a look at what else, what time frame we've got here. Oh, the last 573 days. Yeah, look at this. Max gwei on Ethereum. At one point it was at 8,629. That's insane on the gwei. That's insane. It probably cost you $1 million to do a trade or something. I don't know. It's crazy stuff. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty crazy there on that one. So cool. That was a nice little journey into the gwei. What else? We got the Bismarck in the house with the fire. Good to see Bismarck. And Christian says, I'll wait till late night or Sunday when fees are lower. I think they've got 6 days to claim it before it starts to bleed out. Okay, cool. Might be 2 weeks before the stake bleeds. Well, it depends on when it matured. I guess he's saying maybe it's already matured for over a week. but definitely the timing on the weekend's the best. Brazolji says Mandalorian Season 3 just started. Yeah, I heard some good reviews yesterday from it, so hopefully looking forward to that. Love Mandalorian. I'm particularly bullish on BankX, says Tortoise Johnny. I'd be careful with BankX, Tortoise Johnny. I definitely think it's got possibly the adjustments they've made. They have made a lot of adjustments in respect to Terra Luna, which was part of their setup, so I'd really think about that a lot. If you've got better alternatives, Tortoise Johnny, I'm not saying that they won't succeed. We're going to be able to see before Pulsechain because they're going to launch expectedly on ETH and BSC. They were going to try and target Q1, but I don't think they're probably going to launch until Q2. I haven't actually looked at an update recently, but we'll do that after the live stream. If there's better options, you've got to say, well, okay, this one here looks kind of interesting, but is there better options? Now, I understand at BankX, you're going to earn interest on your stablecoin, but I really would, it is such a hybrid of so many things. Just really think, is there a better alternative for you? Obviously, Hex look pretty good, but obviously you want a bit of diversity too. Just a couple of thoughts there on that one. Onboarded an Aussie into Hex at a diner the other night in a bar. He's going to call me next week when he's back in Oz and set it up. Hex might be 10 cents by then. That's true, Matt. That's true. He'll realize that quick. But 10 cents is still, still 5x down from 52 cents or whatever. And not long ago, it was under 2 cents. Time flies like price. It does. When the momentum's on, it's on. That's still cheap, way less than all-time high. Yep. Tortoise Jones says, I know a lot of people I know are buying at 35 cents. Christine is in the house. Hey, Christine, highlight of my day. Good to see you, Suitman and Hexkins. Man, I love you. Hey, good to see you, Christine. Appreciate that. I'm sure everyone else does too. Big shout out to you. That deserves a match. Hexforce 1 has landed. I'm kind of looking forward to the MCR token collecting ETH yield. Sounds good. Yeah, so I'm going to have to look at that again. I haven't looked at that. I watched the video, but I jumped a lot of the sections. I might have to rewatch that. So I did invite them to come onto the channel. So hopefully we might queue that up too. Machiavelli says David Feder has great tech Hex tutorials. Okay, David Feder does, yeah. Definitely check out David Feder. Big fan of David. Brazoli says, if anyone thinks Celo is going to outperform Pulsechain, check your head, says the Brazoli. And Steakhouse, yes, Steakhouse, that's the Magic Carpet Ride product. And I know that Rags to Riches covered that in a video yesterday, I think. I haven't watched it, but I'm pretty sure I saw a video with that title. Just restaked to later August and September 2024. Woo! Cool. Well, hopefully the pivot of the Fed will happen in the beginning of that year. You'll run into the bull market that year. That'll be hopefully be good. This is barring any Black Swan event, which we don't try not to talk about too much, which is the old China Taiwan. That's the only thing that really would be the big sourpuss, as it were. Besides these Hexkins, we're going to the steakhouse after the pool party. The people I thought you nerds were into cryptocurrencies. That's funny. Check My Pulse says Hex Cruise is going to be epic celebration. I think so too. A lot of people are going to it. Kate Ferger and others. Sandy Beach says I like the steakhouse. You guys are going to make me hungry for steaks. We do have one. We have 2 steakhouses here, I think. But they're not as, I don't know if they're not the same as American ones. Americans are a little bit different. OMG, imagine the Pulsechain meetups and parties. OMG going to be insane. In the Sano and the Braino. Hex Token, I owe you a drink. I'll take that drink, Pulse Player. That sounds good. Release the Band says that accumulation pays off. It does indeed. Just keep accumulating the best passive income in 2023. That's the title of the video. This is a bit misleading about Bitcoin only being up $4 and $6. It was 15K in November 23 today. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what he was meaning by 406. That's kind of, I sort of read through that quick, but good point there, Bruce. Congratulations in our community. We are doing an awesome job on Twitter. Yeah, Twitter's going really well. And TikTok is lifting up as well. So I did see that they're looking to ban TikTok in Canada. I saw that. Sandy says, thank you, Hex Token. You're welcome. Humberto says Ethereum gas fees are horrible right now and getting worse. We need Pulsechain, 100%. So that's even a better use case for Pulsechain, right? I didn't really highlight that too much, but the lower gas fees are going to be super low. And the incentives are going to be super high. So you got low costs and high incentives. You're going to want to stay, right? That's should be it. Pool party announced by Dipcatcher. Says Ashtree. Nice. Yeah, so Dipcatcher's got as a product out. We just had Machi Capital Ride come out with product. So lots of new products coming out. It's very, very cool. Sound the horn. I think so. what else there? Love the horns, says Sandy Beach. Me too. Acapella goes in the house there. Hey, Superman, thanks for what you do, my friend. What's the difference between New Zealand and American steakhouses? I think the atmosphere is probably the case. I don't know. Our steaks maybe cook better though, and we have better meat quality. Just saying. But the atmosphere in American restaurants is so much fun. I just love it. I love it when it's been a long time since I've been to America, but man, I'd love the restaurants. It's the atmosphere. I don't know. Maybe it's just because everything's bigger and larger there. It seems like that. I haven't been here for a long time though, so hey, maybe things have changed. Hey, good news yesterday. Yesterday in Chicago, was it Lighthouse, Lightfoot, or whatever her name is? She got pushed. She got thrown out of the mayorship, which is fantastic news for that crime. People need to solve that crime in that city. So she was a big problem. So good on that one. All right, let's get into it. 7.694 cents at the moment. Looking really good as Hex. Let's zoom this up here and have a look where 8 cents would be. Let's have a look here. So this is 8 cents right here, folks. That is 8 cents where that line is. So we want to hit that 8 cents there. Cool. Let's see if we can do it by Sunday. Because if we go over 8 cents, then 8.6 is the next target for me on the horizontal. There, we're beating down the diagonals. I don't really like taking diagonals from lower highs. So I've avoided doing that, but on horizontal, that's kind of my next target there. Very, very cool. We bet 3.3. We bet 5 cents. We bet 7.3 to 7.5. 8.6 is next. You can't keep Hex down. Pulsechain is coming. The biggest thing in crypto is coming. It is going to be a juggernaut landing in crypto. It's going to be truly epic, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed this live show. You guys know if we go to hit 8 cents today, I will be back on a second live stream. You guys know that. We'll have another emergency live show, but I will be on tomorrow in any case. Hope you guys enjoyed today's live stream. It's been a privilege and an honor, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. All right, we've got a couple other comments here before I go though. Have you come to America soon? Yeah, I hope so too. And TikTok ban in Canada. Never the same. Yeah, it's going to save a lot of young people. That TikTok's just bad for the brain. People need to read books. Kids need to read books. They need to be respectful to their elders, and they'll be successful in life. Yeah, I'm from Illinois, so I was super happy about Lightfoot getting the boot. Yeah, just dreadful. I could say a lot more about that Acapella Go. I'm just not going to. Bob Family Channel. Yeah. What else there? Beef has been juiced up in Oz. Right, juiced up. Yeah, I'm sure. Bob, let me jump away from that. Bob says, see you later tonight, Superman. Yeah, we had the 8 cents. Yeah, we need to meet up in Vegas for the fall. Indeed, I'm going to play the Vegas Pulsechain promo on the way out. The privilege and the honor is ours, says Briz. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it. And Godonski says, thanks, Superman. Hey, you're welcome. All right, take care, everybody. Subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Get into our Discord. It's free Discord, and the best community, honestly, as we enjoy this journey to greatness. It's going to be awesome. And what else am I going to say? If you want to become a member of the channel, hit the join button. We've got Pulse Skins, Hex Skins, and Richard Heart Club. And you get cool perks in the chat and Discord. So yeah, join. Feel free to join. All right, I think that's it. All right, take care, everybody. Peace out. Woohoo!